So I've got this hunch, a suspicion, I would say really a prediction that the humanoid robot is really going to resolve this issue once and for all because they don't join unions and they don't call in sick and they don't have or pay demands or insurance demands. What do you think that the robot and and we're right on the beginning of robots in the workplace, even though a lot of companies are very mechanized. But the idea of a robot replacing humans, I think we're right there at the doorstep of. How is it going to impact the labor force in America?
Yeah, John, if I could give you the answer that would be correct, I would. I'm guessing. But look, I'm a Star Trek fan. I watch Jim Kirk and Spock and Bones and the guys get that Enterprise system through, and we saw a little bit of robots. But you know what we did see? There was still a human in control of major decisions. And so, I think Elon Musk has talked about this. He's talked about robots, and we've seen kind of the most advanced manufacturing facilities in the country not only have robots, but they also have humans running those robots. And so the skills needed to be part of the manufacturing industry may change, but there's still going to be, I think, a human component to that. And frankly, I hope there's still a human component to it because I get a little bit worried when an AI program being tested for, being shut down. I think the other day I was reading about an AI program that they tested it to see what would happen when they tried to shut it down. And finally, the AI program started blackmailing the guys that were trying to shut them down. And that famous scene in Space Odyssey 2001, Dave, what are you doing? I worry about that. But I think you're right, John. The continuing cost and the kind of artificial inflation that occurs in manufacturing is going to lead to a solution because, everyone's concerned that manufacturing moved offshore. One of the reasons why that happened is because the cost structure got out of control and we couldn't compete in a global economy. Now we're trying to bring those manufacturing jobs back to the United States. I think we'll be successful in that. But one of the issues is how can we control the escalating cost of manufacturing? And one of the ways, unfortunately, you do that is by automation. And we got a great example of that in the port industry. Last year, back at the end of the year, the union official of the International Longshoremen's Association said he would strangle the country because they had a monopoly on all the ports on the east coast of the United States. And he said the one thing they would not accept was any automation. So literally the contract that they signed that President Trump supported, kind of surprisingly, was blocking the automated gate that would let trucks into the port to pick up loads. They had to have a union representative there to open the gate. That's how ridiculous it gets. And that's why we lose jobs and lose competitive advantages that the United States has always had.